Good morning. It's May 2nd. It's 33 days since we made the last video, and I'm just really surprised at how much everything grew. And so today we're documenting the garden again. All right. We made little garden signs so we could actually number all the beds, and Charlie showed you that one. This is bed number 11, and we took this spinach out, and we got, like 2 or 3 big bags of it, but it wasn't the best spinach. So I think I still need to work on getting the soil better. And so I've replaced it with collards that I started from seeds, and then I did a little teeny row of carrots and some more Italian mix and radishes and green onions, hoping that it would work for spring. And then when the time is right, like maybe in 2 weeks, I'm going to put tomato plants in here right in the middle, and then we'll put a fence in the middle. And back here is the mustard that's gone to seed. I mean, we're still eating the leaves because they taste really good, but I'm letting the flowers go to seed, or not to seed, but just go to flower to feed all the beneficial insects that are around. And that bed right there, bed number 12, is the great hairy vetch and rye experiment. And it's coming along great, except that it's real windy here, and it's such a huge amount of mass that yesterday's winds that were just constantly from the south was just blowing the whole mass over. And we'll probably be cutting it down in the next couple days. We've been waiting until the rye starts to shed its pollen. Yep, here's an example of the rye that's making its little flowers, and it's going to throw out the pollen. And so we're waiting for the majority of the rye crop to do that, and then maybe then it won't, when we cut it, it won't keep trying to grow. Right. And down below is the crimson clover, and it's kind of interesting. You can almost tell when it's time for this stuff to go, because I don't want it to go to seed, and the blooms are kind of working their way up to the top, and pretty soon they're going to start making seeds. So it's like, when we shot the last video on March 30th, I was worried because the next couple days were going to be like in the 80s and maybe 90, and so I just figured all this lettuce and everything would just bolt immediately. Well, we've had great weather. Sometimes it would get really warm, but sometimes it got down to like 32 at night. And so the stuff has all managed to stay alive. And a lot of this stuff is still the stuff that I had planted last October. And, some of the things are blooming, like the Brussels sprouts. And the Swiss chard keeps trying to bloom, but I pinch off the flowers because we're still eating Swiss chard. And I'm just learning. And it's great to know, that we can plant something in October and still be eating all the lettuce and Swiss chard and kale, and there's a couple broccoli plants in there that I still keep pinching off the little blossoms from. And the dandelions have been great. I try to keep up with pinching off the flowers, and we've made 3 cuttings where I just cut it right down to the ground and cooked up the greens. And they've all just come back. They're the French dandelions with the huge leaves on them. Let's see. And then on the wall you can see the different starts. Some I've started from seeds, and at the top up there are a couple tomatoes that I bought, and kiwi that was given to us, and some nettle plants that I need to also get into the ground. So that's what's happening in this little garden. This is bed number 8. It used to be a compost pile last fall, and I needed a place to plant stuff, so I just pulled the compost off to both ends and planted broccoli in here and there's yellow onions and white onions and red onions down the middle, and I have different kind of radishes in between the different broccolis on that side. And on this side I tried to plant onion, like green onion seeds, but I haven't seen anything come up yet. And so far we've just been mildly bothered with some kind of a green cabbage worm that makes you have to go out every day and check the leaves and to try to pinch it off before it eats all the stuff up. And down here are some of the things I've started from seeds. I think we're doing 9 different kind of tomatoes and 5 kinds of peppers and different kind of flowers that are supposed to be beneficial. And so they live out here, except when it gets too cold at night, and then we have to bring them all onto the porch. Here's the experimental flower bed. The only thing that started blooming so far are the daisies, and they're only just starting. So, but at least stuff is growing. It's getting taller. And then over here, stuff is growing. You can sure tell that the soil isn't as rich down here as it is up in the upper beds, but this is where the swimming pool used to be, and I think they just brought in a bunch of sand to level it out. So we're trying to improve pure sand. But it's going to be okay because we're going to plant sweet potatoes, and they don't like a lot of nutrition. And also peanuts down here. They did good last year, and this year the soil will be even better, so they'll probably do pretty good. This is a cabbage bed. I think it's bed number 17. And during the winter it was a compost pile, and I moved the compost pile down to the end. And there's 3 different kind of cabbage here. The red cabbage is in the middle, and on the outside I alternated between an ox heart kind of a cabbage and then a flat round cabbage. And it's interesting because the cabbage worms seem to like to eat the ox hearts first. They have a lot more holes in them. And then in between each cabbage I've planted 3 red onions. So all throughout here there are red onions. And I also planted sage on the corners I guess the smell is supposed to help, but the sage are really tiny, and I don't know that it's doing that much good because they're still so little. Here's our experiment of using a blue tarp kind of as a sheet mulch to try to kill the sod. Unfortunately, when it's windy it blows up, but we left it up so you could see it's only been down about a week, and already you can see the difference in the color of the grass. So it's working. It's going to try to kill all this sod and then I can maybe plant my pumpkins and watermelons and stuff in here. It'll make it a lot easier for Charlie to rototill. And the tarp actually came from the trailer park. Somebody left it. We're trying to decide whether it's a truck tarp or a FEMA tarp. But anyway, we're putting it to good use.